Hello, fam, and welcome to your first week of the playoffs for this 2025 season. And it's weird because the winners bracket, right? There's 2 weeks to the games, while in losers bracket, which I as all as I ever know, it's 1 week, and then apparently we have something called a bye. Never have I had that before. Joe and I are preparing for the playoffs in a very unconventional way, and we're going to leave those ideas uh, we're gonna leave them be for now. We don't want to give away our competitive advantage, but nonetheless, we've been prepping and retooling, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we make it out. But before we get to any of that, there was something that I was asked to put together, so I went ahead and done that. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to explain. And I don't know if hopefully you can see it, but nonetheless, it's not really what's on the screen. It's so that way that I can roll down through these points, because really that's what matters. And let me see if it'll work. This will be an experiment. Man, everything on the screen. Yes. You guys ever use the seat warmers in the wintertime? It's only been in the car here for a few minutes, and man, I am just feeling it. It's quite a good feeling. It's a shame you have to use it because it's so darn cold out, but it does feel nice when it gets going. I gotta say. All right. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but nonetheless, it's going to help me through my talking points. I need to explain something that happened last week, um, to round out the Final Four teams. This was the first time ever, which I didn't realize, that the contingency for fourth place of the most points forced came into play, and that team really got bumped up ahead in the standings of someone with a better record. I and I never heard back. We got to back up. I never heard from ESPN about configuring this in the standings to reflect it correctly, because they believe they reflected it correctly in the bracket, but not in the standings, which I don't understand how you have one without the other. But nonetheless, it's like not having peanut butter with jelly. Just doesn't really make much sense. But nonetheless, that's what we're dealt with, and I never heard back from them. So maybe I'll have to give them a phone call here soon. But really, what I see it coming down to, or what it did come down to, I should say, mixed players just abandoned. They went AWOL on him, and mixed just they went AWOL. MIA, however you want to say it, while Slams really stepped up and really put in a legendary performance for him. That was quite remarkable. And while it was amazing to see that for Sam, for his team, it was awful to see the destruction that mixed players had, and just complete disregard and lack of respect for an owner that really treated you well all year. Then you go out and do that to him. Just unacceptable. And to dig further into it, I think the most surprising out of this was Sam Darnold. 4.12 points, like, against his former team, nonetheless. There's no excuse for him to be scoring that low of fantasy football points. He is not that bad of a football player, nor a fantasy football player, but yet he scored 4.12 points against in a matchup where I don't know what their pass defense is ranked, but they are head and shoulders above the Minnesota Vikings. And I don't know if McCarthy was back or not at that point, but I don't think he was. But even more to the point where they should be sitting ducks. He should be able to throw at least one touchdown pass, get at least 175 yards before they run the ball, at a minimum. Should be able to, really, you expect at least 10 points. Bare minimum. He got 4.12. That's just unbelievable that happened. And there's just no excuse for it. And, it seems to be the later in the year we get, and the more tape he has against him during the season, the worse that he does. And yeah, they're winning games, but if they're going to put up that kind of performance, I don't know if Seattle's really too happy with what they're getting. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. It still won't make sense for a while. The next one, while it is worse in a way, it's still bad, and worse in a different way though. Shakir with 1 point at Pittsburgh in a really good matchup. I mean, Pittsburgh's been getting lit up consistently in the passing game for a while this year. And he just came off of a great game, I think, the week before in Houston. So why did he not continue that momentum? The Buffalo Bills have been a weird team to watch this year. They've been really, really volatile, and I thought they were starting to turn the corner in their passing game, and I thought Shakir was really stepping up with who Kincaid that was out. Yeah, I was trying to think of Knox, but it was Kincaid that's been out. So he, thought he was finally stepping up, but no. And granted, that wasn't even what lost Mick the matchup last week. It just was a terrible turn of events. And I, I guess what made matters worse was they certainly Buffalo just ended up running like the same play so many times. I remember reading an article about it where they ran. The rumor was like over 20 times the same play, and like credit to them for doing the right thing for the team. But like, can you help my boy out here? Can you help my son out? Get some points in the air, maybe catch something called the forward pass. Just unbelievable that happened, and I didn't see it coming. It's just really inexcusable. But like I said, I think Sam Darnold really lost it more than Shakir did. And another one that I'd like to point out, just because I want to be hard on my team, Tyler Loop. No field goal attempts and only 2 extra points. While it certainly he doesn't get the team in field goal position or in scoring position, it just speaks to how bad that team is operated. And we saw yesterday hosting Pittsburgh, just nothing else needs to be said. It's just a cluster, certainly. There's no excuse for it, and it shows how bad that team is right now. And really, they definitely ruined the Thanksgiving. The turkey did not hit the same. Neither did the mashed potatoes and the rolls, the veggies. None of it hit the same. The wine didn't even taste good. That's how much they ruined Thanksgiving. And while all this unfortunately was imploding on Mick's side, which was unbelievable that it finally was the first year where this happened, the team with less wins ended up scoring more points and nudging it. But then the reality of which all this, it's not like they came in like neck and neck within a few points to each other, Mick and Slam right before the week. Like Slam did like a complete like hurdle. Like they see those guys like hurdling each other in the football field. That's what happened. Like, so while Mick's players imploded on him, these guys really stepped up for Slam. You got AJ Brown. He was all in. I think he put like 30 points. I didn't write down the number of points, but it was like 30 points. And what's funny and really unbelievable about it is that AJ Brown doesn't seem to show up, at least this year, in games where they're winning. Like they almost have to play bad for him to have a good offensive performance. And Seth Joyner and company on the shows up here, he seems to think that he likes that and he's okay with it just because he's putting up stats. And while I don't know if I go that far, it does make you think because the body language is different in games where he's doing well, even though the team is losing. So it's kind of hard to get that image out of my mind, but it's just a shame that it's bittersweet because it helped one of my sons, but also hurt one at the same time. Another one, yeah, I kind of put this in an overall bucket of Slam's position. Overall, Bijan went for 28.3. While you don't expect it, it's not surprising. Swift, I was a little surprised about, but still had a good performance, and he's certainly capable of it. 20.8. Collins with 19. Bowers with 20. And then Watson with 18.3. While you do expect these performances from time to time with these gentlemen, the fact that he got all of them all in a row, all simultaneously, I should say, is pretty amazing. And like I said, it's bittersweet because it is great that Slam was able to pull that off and quite impressive, actually. Like I said, Mick had to go through something that I didn't think he'd have to go through. And I'm still available to help with those exit interviews because they definitely need them. It's kind of cool though to see in a way that this mechanism worked because it makes the end of the season exciting. From that perspective, it is kind of cool to see. It's a shame that, like I said, that somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, but that, I guess, in a way, is life, right? But I still just don't like to see betrayal. I mean, I can't get over Darnold and Shakir. Darnold hurts more, though, for sure. And then Loop is just kind of, he's all right, but the Ravens, but just all together, and that the fact that all this happened simultaneously with the bad and the good is truly just remarkable. And I don't know. It's going to be hard to imagine this happening again, but there's no reason why it couldn't. Nonetheless, we will see how this goes, and now we get to prepare for the exciting playoffs, whether it's the winners bracket or the losers bracket. The losers bracket, there's not much to get into yet, so I'm not even going to waste anybody's time. However, the winners bracket, I want to touch on quickly before I wrap this up. Sam and Chris are playing each other. Sorry. and then commission Josh. Yeah, I definitely need to after this game tonight. I need to re-examine kind of where things are looking, where things stand, and that I can give a little bit more info and perspective on what I think is going to happen for the second week of the matchups. Um, I yeah, I was just reading my note here to remind everybody, and I don't know. I feel like we all get caught up as fantasy players and owners to look at the projected points to anticipate matchups, and clearly what we just saw with what happened where Slam completely oh, completely outdid himself with the points for, and mixed team completely was an underwhelming performance. I can't even get the words out. That's how like I just can't believe it. Where anything can happen, and I know it's cliche, but those projections don't mean anything. And Axe app really has got to get it together. They clearly can't get the standings right. So what makes you think their projections are going to be right and their projected figures? I have no faith in that. So that's why it's like you can't really look at that. You almost have to really dig deeper in what the player's done recently, what the matchups look like, to really dictate and kind of project where things are going to go. And then really, it's why they play the games, and that's cliche as well. But there's not the projections don't mean really anything, as we saw, and I think we'll keep seeing that. But although that's what makes it the most exciting, and I guess the only other thing you can keep up or that can kind of make sense of all this is always easier said than done. I haven't really done it. I've tried. I do. I'll give myself credit that I at least try, but it hasn't happened yet. You always want to build your roster as well rounded as possible. And I know that sounds cliche, but if you don't have those heavy hitters that are scoring, try to at least build your roster with some players that can be above average and work for you at the best time when you need it the most. And that's what Sam was just accumulating value constantly throughout the year, and it worked out. And his players played well, especially when he needed the most. So I got to give credit where credit's due. But Mick, we'll take care of those exit interviews. We'll take care of those gentlemen. There's no reason for that, and it will not be tolerated. So, without further ado, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And as always, enjoy, keep the beer cold, and like I said, don't do anything I wouldn't do.